There was a couple of back-to-backs.
Yes.
When's the last time there were 3 in a row? Because that's the one that's
I don't have that much data.
Do you think it's going to happen in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of momentum here. And the interesting thing about this GDP print is I think we actually do see the hurricane in this GDP
Constance
print.
Where do you see it?
Sorry.
Constance Hunter from KPMG.
Yeah. I think that consumption would have been stronger if they weren't for the hurricane.
So that 2.4 down from 3.3 on the consumer would have been, people couldn't buy stuff. And the buying that happened ex post wasn't enough in time really to get into the quarter.
Yeah.
I also think what's different in 2014, you did not have global growth. It wasn't synchronized.
Yes.
That's a big part of what's happening here. I want to just point out.
Rick wants to jump in. I think he has some information on the questions we were asking too. Rick?
Yeah. Third quarter of 13, fourth quarter of 13, they were 3.1 and 4.0 respectively. Then in mid-2014, second and third quarter, he had a 4.6 and a 5.2 back-to-back. That 5.2 was his high water mark. So there were some good quarters. And the reason I remember is because I was always a bit disappointed that the Federal Reserve didn't take more of a chance during those growth spurts to maybe do some tweaking a little earlier in the cycle. But those were the high water marks in the back-to-backs.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Constance, back to what you were saying, that you think that we really have some momentum going and that this is going to happen for the fourth quarter, too.
I do. I think that, and as Joe said, we have global growth, which gives us a nice tailwind. So we have the whole global economy expanding for the first time since before the crisis. We have, before the last jobs print, we had over 85 consecutive months of jobs growth. That momentum is so significant. If you look at the past 2 longest recoveries, they're 2 ahead of this one in terms of quarters. But for this recovery, we are 50% above previous quarters on consecutive months of jobs growth. And that impacts consumer psychology, actual wallets. It makes a difference.
Hey, Constance, how much does it matter that inventories have added 0.7% to GDP? That there has been this inventory build, and we did have a big inventory drawdown in the first quarter. I know that talking about inventories on national television is not the sexiest topic, except that it did swing GDP 0.7. Is that something that's temporary?
I don't know. We'll have to see. And that is something we're going to have to wait and see. And people would build inventories again ahead of the holiday season, right? Some of those inventories, if we dig down into them and we see if they're autos, those are going to be withdrawn, right? Because people are going to be replacing automobiles as a result of the Houston floods. And so I think we'll just have to wait and see.
I want to make one more point, which is you guys have had a great show talking about these unbelievable earnings. And it's been a theme out there. That is not disconnected from this report, right?
No, not at all.
We're talking about the pie being bigger, which means there's more for the corporations to take in the slice, which is their profits. And we've seen that. There's a direct line from the better corporate profits we're seeing to these better GDP
because these earnings are based on higher revenue, on higher sales that have been coming in.
That's the thing you guys were remarking.
It's not on margin cutting.
You're getting the twofers this morning, right? You're getting the higher revenues and the higher profits, which we've only really done one.
Which means that's a reflection of a better economy.
And you're seeing inflation pick up in a good way. It's demand pull inflation.
Well, that's what this report does. It obviously allows the Federal Reserve next week when they meet to look at September's inflation and say, that was just a one-off. That's not indicative of the environment.
That's an interesting point.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.